Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We are here talking about Green Compass again today. So some things have come to light and have come to my attention very recently about this MLM slash network marketing company. If you're not familiar with Green Compass, they are a multi-level marketing slash network marketing company that focuses on CBD. I have to be careful because YouTube likes to censor different words and hold back from pushing things out that have specific words in them. So I have to be careful with the words I use. So if I have to cut out any words, that is why. I apologize. But anyway, this MLM company sells CBD products and hemp products, and they claim that they are all organic. And in my opinion, it's all just extremely problematic. We saw one of the top leaders telling people that if they're breastfeeding or pregnant, they can go ahead and take the CBD, even if it has THC in it. And also, they can give it to their kids, and kids having THC essentially is okay. I don't agree with that. There are instances where doctors may instruct things like this, and that's exactly the job of a physician, not for an MLM consultant or representative to be out here doing that. But anyway, that is the top leader that we reacted to earlier this week. I also have a deep dive on Green Compass. I will link both of those videos down in the description below so that you can go and watch those after this if you'd like. But today we're reacting to a handful of Green Compass, I believe, leaders. If they're not leaders, they're at the very least consultants within Green Compass. So what that means is they bought a starter kit. They don't necessarily have certifications or licensures or anything like that where they had to go to specific training. This multi-level marketing company, along with all multi-level marketing companies, do not require any kind of training or anything to sign on and get a starter kit and start spewing their bullshit to everybody and getting more people to join and buy the on false pretenses. So with that said, these individuals are telling their stories about how they got involved in Green Compass and why they got involved. I thought it'd be fun to look at it after the most recent Green Compass video. I think I want to start covering them more on my channel because, again, just like Scentsy, there's not a lot of information out there about Green Compass, and I really believe that MLM companies like this need to pay the price of the false advertising and the unqualified advice that's given from their consultants, and no repercussions are hardly ever taken for most of these consultants that are out here doing that. And that goes for Green Compass and all other MLMs. Anyway, all of that said, I try to say this in all my videos now, but I do not blur out anything in my videos. I don't blur out faces. I don't censor names. The only thing that I do blur out are children. That is just how I do my videos. These individuals are positioned as public figures, and this content is public. So that's why I decide not to blur anything. But with all of that said, don't go running to their pages and sending them hate messages or comments or anything like that. That's not the purpose of these videos. That's not the purpose of my content. I just want to raise awareness around the bullshit that's going on inside of these MLMs and inside of these scams and on anything else that I cover. So please don't do that. And with all of that said, let's get the fuck into it.
Okay, Lars, we are live. You can take it away. Okay, awesome. Welcome, everyone, and thank y'all for joining us. I know it takes a lot to carve out some time, especially at night, so thank y'all. Tonight, you're going to hear from 4 Green Compass friends and leaders. We all come from different backgrounds, but our passion for hemp wellness in this business has brought us all together. So I'll get started and tell you a little bit about me. My name is Lars Anthony, and I live right outside of Greenville, South Carolina, with my husband, Chaz, and our 2 kids, Evelyn Joe, who is 5, and Trace, who is 2.5. So my story with Green Compass starts almost a year ago, this January. I was searching for something more natural and safe to help me with stress and anxiety. I had been on prescription medicine for the past 10 years.
Oh, take your meds, folks. That just reminded me I didn't take mine. I'll be right back. Muy importante. Okay, let's go.
I came off both times I was pregnant, but then got right back on after both of my kids' birth. I had heard about CBD and I had hope in it, but I tried several different brands and companies, and they were just really not what they claimed to be. So one night when I was talking to my husband, he mentioned someone that was always talking about CBD on Instagram. And he was like, but she seems like she knows what she's talking about. You should check her out. That's Nicole Malarski, who you're going to hear about later, or you're going to hear from later tonight. But so I stalked her on her Instagram, and she did seem to have like such great knowledge, and the company that she represented looked super legit. So I reached out to her. So now fast forward several weeks, and I was already feeling so much more like myself. I kind of felt like a weight had been lifted off of me, and I was actually able to come like down on my dose of my medicine, So much so that I just felt really confident I wasn't gonna have to rely on that like I had been for so long.
Ma'am, those are medical claims and big medical claims. So as you saw, I just took my antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication. As somebody who had suffered for so long before I actually advocated for myself and said, I don't feel good mentally when I was at the doctor. Being in a vulnerable position, if you suffer with any of these conditions, you probably know the same thing. You've probably felt the same thing at some point. You will do almost anything to not feel that way, literally. So for her to say that to people who, there's more than likely people on this call that, or people watching this recording that have or currently feel that way and are automatically going to think, oh, CBD or THC is going to make me feel better and I could just stop taking my medication. That's not how it works. And we need to stop promoting this type of marketing on social media, on YouTube, on everything. There really needs to be an end put to this. It's going to backfire in a really bad way. And I don't want that to happen to anybody.
So not only like was my stress and anxiety so much better, but my sleep was getting so much better too. And I had no idea that I wasn't sleeping good. Like I always thought I was a great sleeper, but I was getting a much deeper and more restorative sleep now, which was giving me energy throughout the day. So for all these reasons, I was like having overall balance that I had never felt in so long. So at this point, I knew that these products were a game changer and I was going to have to keep taking them. And so I started thinking, well, maybe there's a way, I could get these products for free by sharing. Like I was having these thoughts around that same time. Nicole reached out to me. So it was like totally good time, like a God thing. And she told me not only could I get my products paid for, but I could actually like make money for my family too. So I've been able to do that. I've been able to get my products while making some money for my family and still being able to stay home with my kids and not miss a beat, which is so great and important to me. So, and on top of all that, I've been able to help other people find hope through him, like through, if they're dealing with pain or stress and anxiety, whatever it is, there is something that CBD can help you with. So for all those reasons, Green Compass has been such a blessing to me and my family and the people that have found Green Compass also along my journey. So it's just been a blessing. And tonight we are all doing big things together. And I hope that maybe one, if not everybody's story could resonate with you. I think that would be wonderful. So now I have the honor to introduce my friend and partner.
More medical claims about CBD being helpful for so many different things. Now, this is something that the Clown Town brought up in a comment on my last Green Compass video, which if you're not following them, please go and do that. They are always linked in the description of my video and they are awesome. They mentioned that because of that stigma around these things, there are not a lot of actual studies out there to prove that any of this works for depression, anxiety, pain, anything at all. So you cannot say definitively that CBD is going to help somebody with any kind of condition. And that is what so many, if not all, Green Compass representatives that I have encountered do. They make these outrageous medical claims with no backing and no proof, and they never cite their sources. So it's just so infuriating. So let's see what this next gal has to say.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Like Lars said, my name is Jessica Yarbrough and I am a mom of 3 in Greenville, South Carolina. So I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So our life is pretty crazy most of the time. My story kind of starts back in 2018. So I went through a postpartum depression after I had my second son, and I kind of felt like I knew what was going on right after I had him. And I went to our doctor and got on a prescription medicine. So I stayed on the medicine. It worked until it kind of didn't. I got pregnant in 2020 with our third. And when I was about 10 weeks pregnant with her, I found out that it was a high-risk pregnancy. I started to go in and out of the doctor's offices more frequently. And again, with it being 2020, I was there by myself, another stress level. At the same time, my dad was going through prostate cancer and he was through radiation. And my mother-in-law, we found out she had stage 4 lung cancer. So all of the stresses were coming down on me. I reached out to our doctor at the time and I told him what was going on. And so we upped my dosage. Again, stayed on the medicine, and Kaylee was born in the spring of 2021. And shortly after she was born, I started feeling the postpartum creeping back up on me. And along with that, I started getting just all out rage moments. And if you know me, like, you could never associate rage with my name. So I immediately went back to the doctor and told her what was going on. And she said, yep, you have postpartum rage. Let's up your dosage. And at that point, it just kind of felt like another check in my book. I was just adding more prescriptions. I wasn't happy with really what was going on. So I did it because I knew I needed to feel better and I didn't know there were other options. So Fast forward a little bit, and last fall, stresses of life were just still going on with us. And I had a jewelry business at the time. I was getting ready for all of my holiday shows, and I was just felt like I was just stressed to the max. I didn't feel like I was being the best mom I could be. I didn't feel like I was being the best wife, and I knew something had to change. So
I see where we're going with this whole training, and it's that medication is evil. It is the root of all evil. You should never want to be on medication. Let me tell you that my medication has saved my life. And if that is the case, then let it be the case. It is not harming anybody else that I take medication. It is not harming me that I take medication. It is helping me. And so many other people out there are on medication and are feeling good, but because they're on medication, they're made to feel like some kind of villain or that they are less than because they have to take medication. If you have to take medication to feel good or to help with some type of disorder, disease, anything that you have, you should never feel shame for that. That is a choice. And if it's not harming anybody, then let it be. Medication itself is not evil. So please don't let anybody ever tell you that it is.
I ended up putting my jewelry business down and feeling like that is what I needed to make the change in my life. Well, a month later, and it was no change. So at that point, I started just Googling myself and seeing like what else I could do to help with my anxiety and to help with my depression. And CBD kept coming up. Well, I immediately X'd out CBD. I did not know anything about it and associated it with marijuana. So I was just kind of very narrow-minded to it. A couple days later, I started talking to my mother-in-law about it. And she actually said that people had reached out to her about using CBD for her chemotherapy to help pain. And I just remember thinking like, wow, that's kind of crazy that you can use it for anxiety. You can also use it for pain. So right after that, I reached out to my friend Nicole, who had actually reached out to me in 2019. It was embarrassing, like 2 years later. At that time, she had messaged me saying that she had just started this new business and she would love to talk to me about it. I was like, thank you, but no thank you. Best luck with your business, and went on my way. But I continued to just kind of watch her thrive in this new environment. And I had no idea what it was. So I reached out to her and was like, I need your help. Like, tell me a little bit more. So she automatically started telling me about the business and the products. And I, again, shut her down. No, thank you. I am not interested in the business, but I would love to know more about the products. So a few days later, ordered the products, got them in, and I started using them right away. So for me personally, it was about 3 to 4 weeks, and I was just feeling so much better. My husband had noticed a difference in me. I had noticed a difference just in my day-to-day anxiety. I wasn't having any rage moments on my kids, and I just felt like it was finally the better mom and better wife feeling that I was looking for. So I started doing a little bit more research and looked into Green Compass and found out that the founder of the company actually went through a similar postpartum depression and used CBD to help her in the past. So a few years later for her, she was looking for a clean CBD product to then give her children, and she could not find that on the market. And I know as moms, we all like, you can take something, but when it comes to giving it to your children, you might look a little bit further. So
Just like there's no word. I have taken CBD in the past and it did nothing for me. To be transparent, I tried it. It didn't work for me. It is what it is. It doesn't work for everybody. But the thought of giving it to my children never crossed my mind. Especially because there's such small amounts of studies on CBD and how they affect you. I just don't feel comfortable giving it to my child. And I don't feel like these individuals should be comfortable telling people that they can give it to their children or insinuating it in any way, shape, or form.
I started looking, and just the integrity of Green Compass really, really like caught my mind. So after that, I started kind of looking into the CBD industry in general and realized that the industry is just booming. By the year 2028, it is supposed to be projected to be over $47 billion. So I started talking to my husband a little bit, and I'm like, I'm really interested in this, and I think I might want to start selling it. And he's like, oh, but you don't know anything about CBD. He was right.
Yes, he was. He was. Listen to the people who love you. If you don't know anything about CBD, don't go buying a starter kit to an MLM that sells CBD. It shouldn't be allowed, again, in my opinion, but someone is telling you like, hey, just because you had a good result with this, don't go selling it because you don't know anything about it. And that's a problem. So that would be like any individual taking a prescription medication and having results with it, being like, wow, this made me feel so good. And then you're like, I'm going to go be a sales rep for this medication. Even though I have no schooling, I have no background. If you didn't know, to be a sales rep for medication, you have to have a good amount of schooling behind you before you can go and do that. So this should be the same. So I don't understand why she didn't listen to her fucking husband.
I did not know anything about CBD, but I did know that it was helping me. The products were helping me. I felt so much better. And I had been struggling in silence for so long. And I knew that I had other mom friends that were probably doing the same. And we just weren't talking about it together. So my kind of whole thing and jumping in was I wanted to be an advocate for this company, for these products. I wanted to be able to share that there really is hope in it. And so now I'm sitting here 10 months later and so excited to say that I've helped many, many moms out there. And also just besides helping with postpartum depression, all of a list of, like I was saying, with pain and inflammation and sleep, all of the just crazy amount of things that CBD can help with. And it's just been so mind-blowing and a blessing to our family. So I'm now going to pass it over to Sarah and let her tell you a little bit about her story.
Hey everyone. My name is Sarah Kazian. I am a wife. I am a homeschool mom of 3 kids. I've got twin boys that are 13, a little girl that's 9. And then I also work part-time as a physical therapist assistant. I've been doing that for over 15 years. So I am a pretty busy mom, got a lot going on. So my story with Green Compass started a little over 2 years ago. And I just started noticing, the CBD signs everywhere. It just became legal in all 50 states. So you were seeing, CBD everywhere. And within about a week, I had like 2 patients ask me about CBD. And is this something that would help them? What do I know about it? And I really couldn't help them. And I felt like it was a super sketchy industry. It's a new industry. But I said, so why don't you hold off on that? And I will do a little bit of research for you and just see if it's something that's legit or not. And so I started doing, Googling CBD, different stuff.
Google, not DuckDuckGo, like our friend told us we should use instead? How dare you?
And I found out that we actually have an endocannabinoid system in our body. Like we have a system, and this system regulates every other system in our body. So it's arguably the most important system in our body. And I had not learned about it in school.
We heard the quote unquote cannaboss say a whole bunch about the, what is it called? The endocannabinoid system and blah, 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 and how they all know about the endocannabinoid system. All of these consultants claim to know so much about this specific system in our body, but they're not doctors. So for that reason, I know there's no endocannabinoidists. Would that be what they're called? At the moment, that would be what you have to be to go recommending these types of things. You would have to not only study the endocannabinoid system in a real accredited school, but you would also have to study how other systems within our body interact with the endocannabinoid system. And then you would have to be tested to get some type of certification or licensure to tell people to take these specific supplements, medications, whatever you want to call them. And none of these individuals have that backing or certification or licensure. And I just can't wrap my head around why nothing's being done yet. And I'm actually getting really pissed off about it. All I could do is keep reporting it to the FTC and doing what I can do and doing my part, and everybody else is doing their part when they can. And it's just like, it's so frustrating when you have no control over what these people are doing. Anyway, that was just a little like side tangent that came up. Sorry.
And I was like, wait, what is this? We have this system. And then, then to find out it regulates every other system, and we have receptors in every single system and more receptors for CBD in our bodies than anything else. So all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what is this? Why is no one talking about this? And then, I started doing research on Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and ADHD, and I'm being blown away at all these things that like CBD could help.
Did you see the hesitation that she had there? Like, she doesn't want to say it out loud because I feel like, I try to be very observant with like people's actions. If you notice how she just said that, I was blown away at all of the things that like CBD can help. Like she not only hesitated, but her voice got quieter. Now, I am no expert in this, but I would, in the way my brain thinks about that is like, oh, she doesn't fully believe that. She does not fully believe that. I don't know if I'm the only one. Let me know in the comments if that's how you read that type of behavior too.
I reached out to some of my other medical friends, and they were like, yeah, there's some like good research, but it's an unregulated industry. There's really not any safe products. Like maybe you could, recommend something topically, but, taking something internally, there's just nothing really safe that they knew of on the market. So I kind of put that in the back burner. I was like, oh man, that, we'll just kind of have to see what happens as this comes out, but still couldn't believe that no one was talking about it. So several months later, I have a good friend of mine reach out and says, hey, we've started using these CBD products from this company in Green Compass. Would you want to come hear a little bit about it? And I was like, yeah, I'm actually kind of interested in that. I kind of looked some stuff up, but still was kind of weary on what it really was and all that kind of stuff. So went to her house and learned about Green Compass. And first of all, one of the things I learned that Jessica already talked about is that it was a company started by a mom and looking for quality products for her family. And that was huge. The second thing I learned was that their farms were in North Carolina. So they were local farms and they were actually organic farms. Certified organic is huge in this industry because of the hemp. It's a hypoaccumulator. It's a weed. It sucks in infirmities from the air and from the soil. And China actually has fields of the hemp that they use to clean their air and soil. And now that it's legal in the US, they used to burn their fields. Now they chop them all down, send them to the US, and 80% of the CBD sold in stores are from China, and they are filled with junk. It's an unregulated business. So literally you can put anything you want on a label and say made in the USA, whatever. And
does she hear herself? Not only did her friends tell her that it was unregulated, don't get into it, it's potentially not safe, but she still went on and did it. And now she's still talking about how it's unregulated and how you shouldn't trust CBD that you're getting in the stores because it's coming from China. Why should we trust Green Compass if it's unregulated? Who's to say that they're not bullshitting everybody about their CBD or their products because it's unregulated, like you just said, ma'am?
They can do that. It's unregulated. No one's checking. So what I learned about Green Compass is that they third-party test every bottle. So here's the bottle that you get. On the bottom, there's a QR code, and that you can scan and see exactly what is in your products and exactly what is not in your products. And that's huge, especially in the medical field, to know exactly what's in it and levels of the THC. And
holy word salad. Just because they have it third-party tested, it is still unregulated. It is still unregulated. So they could put whatever the fuck they want on their label. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. They are not going to get caught because they don't have any regulations they have to meet. Nothing.
And the other thing I learned was this company is vertically integrated, which means they own every part of the company, from the seed, the planting, the harvesting, the sourcing. Like, they are part of every single process, and they can make sure that it has the highest quality and integrity. And those are some huge things. So I learned all those things. Me and my husband were like, okay, let's try this. And within a couple of weeks, both of us realized we were sleeping better. We had more energy, feeling better. My husband had some neck and back pain. And all of a sudden we were like, man, we really like this. And so I was excited that I had, something I can kind of recommend to people as well, but didn't really want to do the business. My friend kind of asked me about it, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll kind of send people to you. I don't know. And I was like, I'll kind of pray about it and talk to my husband. And I was pretty sure that he was going to be like, no, Sarah, you are not a salesperson. You would not be good at this.
If she already thought that's what he was going to say, doesn't that mean that's her intuition telling her that she shouldn't do it? I feel like any time in my life when I'm like, I'm going to tell this person about this, but I don't know how they're going to react about it. I don't feel great about it, or I think they're going to hate it. It's because that was my intuition, my gut telling me hey, this ain't a good idea. So I think that maybe the wires were crossed and she just was like, who the fuck cares? Let's jump in.
I had all the excuses already lined up, and I was sure that he was going to affirm all of those. So, I went with him. I was like, and, just kind of thinking about, starting this company. And he actually was like, no, I really think you should do that. I think you'd be really good. He's like, I don't think you have to be a salesperson. I think you can just help educate and share. And it was so exciting for have that encouragement from him. And even jumping in, I was super nervous, didn't have any experience, but I said, I'm just going to follow exactly what they tell me to do. And this company is made for busy people. They have all the systems in place. They hold your hand every step of the way. And it has been such a huge blessing to my family. God's used it in so many ways to bring hope and healing. And it's just been a huge gift. So I am going to turn this over. You can hear a little bit more from Jamin.
I got nothing from that. Nothing. That was word salad.
Hey, thank you so much, Sarah. Good evening, everybody. I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight, just to share a little bit about my Green Compass story and what it has meant for me in this opportunity, and then what it could mean for you too. So a little bit about me. I work full time at a pediatric practice right here in the upstate. We're very, very busy, and I also am a wife and a mom of 3 busy boys, and so we have a lot of fun. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can resonate with that. Just go all the time. And so a little bit about my Green Compass story is that about a year ago, I really really started praying that the Lord would bring community to me. I have community, but I just believe that I want to be challenged and stretched and grow. And I feel like he has a bigger purpose for me than just what's inside my bubble. And so I had just been praying, like, I don't know what you want, but lead me wherever that takes. And so one of my dear friends who I've known for a really long time, she invited me and talked to me about Green Compass multiple times. And I was like, no, not for me. I'm not a salesperson, right? Which I'm sure that most of you guys have said the same thing to whoever invited you to this tonight. Like, no, it's not for me. But let me tell you, I went to one of their events. I finally said yes. And I went there thinking like, I'm gonna prove them wrong. Like, this is fake. This is a scheme, whatever. And went, listened, talked to these people and realized they are genuine. And what they have is a solid, firm foundation.
Again, listen to your gut, because when you got there, what they did was manipulate you and probably love bomb you and tell you all kinds of bullshit and give you word salad that sounded really good, but tasted really bad. And unfortunately, she fell for it.
So when you have a company set on a firm foundation, I just believe that it's unshakable. And so that's what this is. I'm a part of something already that has, we believe in a high standard of excellence and high quality and integrity. Integrity is huge. And so when I went to this event, I realized like, check all the things about this company. And these people who I'm talking to, like, they're real, genuine people who love others and they want to serve. And so that tug was there. And I was like, yep, okay, here I go. So I decided to do it. I jumped right in. I have no sales experience. I just know that I love people. I want to help people. I want to serve people, and I love talking to others. And so I feel like the Lord like said, here you go. Like, I want to use you in this way.
The Lord did not give you Green Compass to help you help people. That's not the way to do it. Please stop.
And so what I want to encourage you guys tonight is that you don't have to know it all about CBD. You don't have to be a salesperson and have it all together. You just have to be coachable. You have to be willing to love others, serve others.
You don't have to know it all about CBD, but you should know a lot about CBD and about the human body before you get into something like this and before you start selling products like this. You should know something about something that it has to do with. You can't, this makes no sense. This is not logical.
Share these incredible products that we have. We have a need product, not a want product. So basically, people start feeling better when they're taking these products and they want it.
This is not a need.
They want to keep ordering from you. And so you're going to build a residual income. And that has also just been like another check for me. And I never imagined that I would be able to have a second stream of income like I do now in 6 short months. And what's really cool is the fact that anyone can do it. Anybody can do it. You need no experience at all. And so I think that is my passion, because I want people to step out of their bubble and to challenge themselves and see like where your life could take you. And so if you feel that tug, or if you're like, yeah, this is something that I could probably do, then I really encourage you to reach out to whoever invited you tonight. And I am just so grateful that I could spend like a really short amount of time with you guys to talk about this. But what's really exciting too, to me at least, are the number parts of the company. And so I really want you guys to hear from my friend Nicole, who has been doing this for the past like 3.5 years. She has been a phenomenal mentor to me and held my hand along the way too. And so she's going to talk a little bit more about the opportunity and what this rocket ship is that you could be a part of. So take it away, Nicole.
Oh my goodness. Thanks, Jamin. Man, I'm so happy to be here with y'all, like the week of Thanksgiving. This is so fun. So we really appreciate y'all taking the time to hang out with us just for a few minutes. So like Jamin said, I'm going to just share a little bit about my story, close us out with some facts and some stats. So again, I'm Nicole Lars. I live here in Greenville, South Carolina with my husband, Jonathan. We have 2 boys, Luke and Jack. They're 2 and 5. And we are very much in a little people world right now. But I was just like listening to all of y'all's stories, and I can tell you, I work very closely with each of these ladies, and it's so cool to have watched their stories unfold and like get to be a part of that and witness it. What the other thing is that every single one of them had some sort of hesitation or skepticism going this route. And now look at all of us. We all just kind of like took a leap of faith, and we're all sitting here sharing with you our stories, which I think is just so cool. So I'm going to try to be really brief. They were all amazing and like kept this under 5 minutes. I'm going to do my best to do that and get y'all out of here. But I was introduced to Green Compass 3.5 years ago. I was in corporate America for about 15 years. I was a headhunter.
Of course she was a headhunter, because now she's a leader in an MLM, because she was trained to be a headhunter, and that's why she's successful.
Like CEO searches for nonprofit and government agencies across the U.S. Honestly, I had a great job. Loved it. Worked for a good company, made good money, had a pretty flexible schedule. And, I always kind of enjoyed that type of environment, just being able to be in that world, but also just be able to contribute to my family financially. But after the birth of our first son, Luke, honestly, I was not the mom that was like, man, I really want to be a stay-at-home mom. No, that was not me at all. I actually loved being a working mom. But there were kind of like those times that I was like, man, it's like 75 degrees. I would love to take my son to the zoo. We have a really fantastic zoo here in Greenville. And I'm like, man, I would love to take him to the zoo. Or right now during the holidays, I'm like, my parents are getting older. I would have loved to have been able to like just go shopping with my mom for Christmas, but because I had a 9 to 5 and my schedule was so hectic, like that was just not in the cards for me to be able to just do that unless I took PTO. Right. So that was just not going to happen. But there were times I would think like, I wonder if there's a world in which you could have both, like contribute to your family financially, be a part of a team and a company, kind of like still have some purpose outside of being a mom, which that is the best thing in the whole world. But there is like that desire to want something of yourself. And also be able to do whatever the heck I wanted. Like, does that exist? And I thought, probably not. But insert Green Compass. A really dear friend of mine, Lindsay Evans, who's on this call, she reached out to me and I thought, oh gosh, like my poor friend, how is she legally selling weed oil? I was like, there's no way she's legally doing this. I knew she wouldn't do anything illegal. So I was like, okay, I probably should like hear her out. But I trusted her enough to just meet her and find out what the heck is she talking about. And so she started telling me about the hemp industry. So y'all, I had no clue what the hemp industry was. Like I said, I thought she was selling like illegal weed oil and somehow doing it under the radar. And also I was totally not, no direct sales. Like I'm good. Remember that awesome corporate job I just told you about? I have zero interest in direct sales. But she started telling me about the hemp industry, which Jessica already shared how incredible the growth that we had. I think when I started back in 2019, the industry was around 500 million. And today it's between 5 and 7 billion and projected what Jessica said to be a $48 billion industry in the next couple of years by Forbes.
That's not Green Compass though. Like she's not talking about the Green Compass industry. She's referring to the cannabis industry. And you have to bear in mind that so many states have recently legalized marijuana, meaning that dispensaries are opening across the country. And that is why the projection of what she is saying is so high. Not because of the Green Compass multi-level marketing CBD oil bullshit. She must have missed that memo.
Massive growth. And then she started telling me about Green Compass, which a lot of them have already shared the incredible ins and outs of what sets Green Compass apart and what sets us to be an incredibly successful company. And one of the things that I think is really interesting is they didn't actually plan to go the direct sales route. That was really just the quickest way to get this brand across the country and people's hands, hence how we are now in your living room sharing this brand with you. But they told us, they're like, all right, if y'all go this route, it's really a good thing if you hit $500,000 in your first year. Well, we did that in 45 days. We hit 12 million our first year. Year 2 doubled. And then now year 3, here we are, almost $100 million company in 3 years, you guys. Like, sign me up. Holy cow. So what I'll tell you is when I started, like I said, never done this before. I just kind of started sharing and people were like, all right, Nicole, I trust you. Like I need help with my sleep. I trust you. Or I need to start paying down some medical bills. Like I trust you. Like, let's give this a shot. And what I found was more and more people started doing this. I thought, I think I might have something here. And what if I could make like $200? And my husband's not gonna be like, why'd you spend so much money at Target? And I'm like, well, you don't know now. I'm just kidding. We don't have proponents of like keeping things from your husbands. But that was like where it started for me. And then I realized like, okay, then it grew to 500. Then it was like 1,000. Maybe can I cover my mortgage for this new house that we just bought? And then here we are 3 years later. I left my corporate job 2 years ago and have, made a better income than I ever did in corporate America times 3.
Income claim, paging FTC.
So the reason that is, you guys, is because we have a ground floor company, for one. We have a ground floor industry. People are still trying to understand this whole hemp world and trying to understand if it's something that can help them. This is for everybody. It's a consumable product, which means, and I think Jamin already touched on this a little bit, but we have a consumable product and people, they buy it, they fall in love with it, it's effective, they run out and they got to reorder, right? So that is the definition of making money while you sleep, residual income. And then you ask, well, how do we know if our customers are actually going to buy it again? Well, guess what? We have a 73% customer retention rate, which is 3 times higher than the national average. So people love our products because they actually work and they don't want to live it up. So that is another huge business opportunity. So you're like, okay, well, why now? Well, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you're like out and about, there are a ton of now organic options. Like our farms were organic back in the 70s before the whole organic thing was really cool. But now you're seeing people want the alternative for more natural healing and more health, right? More and more people are also working from home. More and more people want that option of a side hustle to get that extra income with the way prices are. The holidays are upon us. Like a lot of people are stressed out. People are wondering, how are they going to pay for Christmas this year? Are they going to put it on credit cards and then have to pay in 2023 their credit card bills? Or maybe they're grieving a loved one. So really the timing is now. We are a solution for them, right? You've already heard all of these stories, and not to mention from a business standpoint, we are also in the sweet spot of a ground floor company that's about to like take off into momentum phase. As you can see, we are no longer like this little CBD company. We are really like a hemp wellness brand that will go global, you guys. It will go global. We are barely scratching the surface. So we really have the ability to truly help people from a health, physical standpoint, financial health. We talk a lot about physical health, but really like financial health is so important too. And so really whether you want to be a customer and address your own physical needs, your own physical struggles, or maybe, you just want to try something new. Maybe you've tried CBD before and it didn't work, but maybe this is something you want to give a shot, or maybe you want to grow a really successful business, anything in between. This can be that option for you guys. So let us help you. Let us be there for you. Let us be the transparent friend that you obviously trust enough to get on this call. All of us were skeptic. All of us had a little bit of doubt, like, is this real? And now here we are sharing our story with you. So
is she begging people to join? Because to be transparent, that's what it sounds like.
I learned all of this stuff, y'all, and I was like, heck yeah, sign me up, girl. I was like on my way back to my office when Lindsay told me this 3 years ago. I was like, sign me up. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. And I'm here to tell you the best of both worlds do exist. I answered my own question. Best of both worlds exist. And I just hope that you will ask us questions, and maybe in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, you'll be the one sitting here on this Zoom telling us your story and your testimony and getting to share with your network and making the huge impact on people's lives that the 5 of us have been able to do. And we would love to welcome you to our family. We have a pretty awesome group of people. So y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope this was helpful. Reach out to the person that invited you, and hopefully we will get to meet you guys soon. All right, bye guys.
That was just as disgraceful as I thought it would be. If you want to purchase CBD, might I recommend, if you live in a state that has a dispensary nearby you, go there. They have to follow specific rules according to the state. It's also usually significantly cheaper than an MLM option. So go ahead and do that. Support your local dispensary businesses. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch. And I will see you in the next one.